Okay, folks, welcome back. All right, we're going to do a little bit of an airbrushing session today. And we're going to try this new airbrushing fluid, see how it works with the clear coat. We have some vehicles here we need a clear coat, and I want to see how that goes. So hopefully it goes okay. Otherwise, we're effed. I didn't bring my coffee out here? Oh my goodness. Let me go grab my coffee. I'm supposed to bring it out here. But first, coffee. I need an assistant, a producer. That's a lot of overhead. All right, here we go. We just got to find a spot for it to go. I really need to put some of this stuff away. I've got paints everywhere. All right, so we're going to airbrush these Panzer 38s. And as we work on them, what's up, the Woman Slayer? So how do you like the Ostfront game? I actually played it a little bit. I played the demo, the how to play the game, and it was like new to me. I mean, I knew some of this stuff, and some of the stuff's like, I don't remember the mission being something I played before. All right, this is what we're going to put them when they're finished. But we're going to practice on something before we end up doing that, because we don't want to screw it up. We don't need any screw-ups around here. There's something else I was going to ask you. Maybe that was what I was going to ask you. All right. We're going to need our body cavity search glove. We get a different one. That one looks like it's been soiled. Hello, this is the United States, and we're here to say hello. I know, I'm flying your flag right over there. I haven't installed it yet, finishing up one game at a time. Yeah, I hear you. What are you working on right now, then? Isaiah, what's up? All right, let's get these guys out of the work area. What are my views on 3D prints? I'm personally, I don't have a problem with them. These are 3D prints as well. I'm not gonna do it myself. I have painted a lot of 3D prints. Some have been handed to me. Some I've purchased. As long as a resin, I'm good with them. I'm not gonna 3D print. That's just, I'll leave that for other people. I already have a very time-consuming hobby. I need to I gotta delegate some of the duties to other people. A game called Persona 5 Royal, a fun little Japanese RPG. How do you make 3D prints? I don't know. I don't make them. You need a 3D printer and all that stuff. Yeah, I wanted somebody to 3D print resin stuff in the States, and I found somebody. And he's pretty affordable. But I got lots of stuff to work on right now. So here's the goal. Here's the goal that we've got. I want to seal all of these 6 Panzer 38s, and then I want to seal my Russians that I just finished. And then, if I remember correctly, I've got a T70 that's kind of garbage in there. we're going to paint it up because we're going to snow it as well. Greetings from Slovakia. I know where that is. Tommy, Slovakia. Just stopping by to spread some love and positively. All hit the like button. I can be helpful with the algorithm. May the force be with you all. Thanks, man. When the Czech Republic and Slovakia split, did Slovakia get the crummy end of this stuff, or the Czech Republic got the good part? Inquiring minds want to know. All right, so we're going to assemble this airbrush back together. What's the capital of Slovakia? Is it Bratislava? That's one of the big cities over there. I used to know all my capitals, and then they wanted to, and all my flags, and they created a bunch of different stuff. Yeah, I'm a map nerd. Used to be, anyways. There's few things more useful than being good at maps and geography and directions. I think so. Saim, welcome. All right, let's fire this bitch up. We're using an Iwata HPCS airbrush. I am not an airbrush expert. I'm a paintbrush expert. I would consider myself a paintbrush expert. I've been doing that long enough. Airbrush, I'm only 2 years in. Your Czech brothers get the better. And yes, it's Bratislava. There you go. See, I'm not a stupid American. Bratislava. That's one of those parts of the world. There's some super pretty women from all that. Not that I'm in the market for any of that, but just saying. Make sure I put the right needle in. I think I got the right needle. This is the 0.5 needle. I'm going to go hide it somewhere. I'm going to go put it farther away. Because I have a 0.5 thing here that, oh, you're not on? What do you think, you're union or something? No, you don't get the day off. That the nozzle actually has a little rip in it. It probably would still work, but. All right, so we're going to use this, we're going to try doing this magic formula on, why are we dripping? Oh, no, it's not seated all the way. We're going to use this magic formula and see if it thins on the clear coat. I've never sprayed clear coat thinned. So I'm going to use the same formula that he suggested to use with the primer, which is, and yes, it's backwards, the video is, 70% this, 30% of the magic formula. So that's we're going to do the same thing with the clear coat. And the clear coat we're going to use is Vallejo Premium Color. Where do they make the Skodas at? Is the Skoda car factory in the Czech Republic, or is it in Slovakia? We're going to test it on something that is hard to screw up. I'm going to try it on this little piece of terrain. We're just going to add a clear coat on it. So I'm going to win 70-30%. Okay, about that much. And this keeps tip dry from happening, supposedly. I'm going to mix it in right here. Along with other things. We're good? Okay. Let's switch glasses. Put the super readers on. Let's make sure it's running through there. fine, okay. I didn't want to, and it'd be like, oh, well, there goes the thing that I spent so much time working on. Oh, no wonder it's working wrong. This is dialed way too high. Let's dial this to about 20. I don't like that thing running all the time. It's annoying. Skoda is Czech factory. We used to have Tatra. That's right. Tatra went out of business. Tatra sounds like a babysitter. Okay, we're gonna leave the kids with Tatra. Tatra has an OnlyFans page. Sorry, I just assumed too many things there. All right, here we go. Oh, well, these are Czech tanks. There you go. Skoda tanks. I would have to say this is probably some of the most reliable vehicles that Germany used in the Second World War. They were well liked. They were easy to work on. I mean, it was a small chassis, but you earned another subscriber. You liked it, huh? I could be a director for some of those movies, Awesome. And they're very cute. And I'm sorry, cute tanks don't win wars, but they do make you want to build more of them. And they're very attractive tanks. The Czech 35 is not so cute, and it's mainly because of the running gear. The 38 has an attractive running gear. We like big wheels, and I cannot lie. Uh-oh, we're going through this stuff. And everything, well, if you do it right, the clear coat always makes everything look better. It like evens out all the shades. It makes everything uniform. And it's flat as well. Oh, it's extremely flat. Let's see if I can even tell the difference. Little bit. All right, this little Nazi, we're going to take him off of the turret. All my Germans are Nazis, all my Soviets are Bolsheviks. Uh-oh. They're out. I'm off, sir. See you next time. Thanks for stopping by, Tommy, man. Shit, I gotta look up what the flag of Slovakia looks like. I don't know anymore. I don't think I ever knew. Like I said, all those new countries, after 1990, I've like lost track of. It took me a while to realize, like, oh shit, this is your country stuff. This will be 9 of these painted. I still have 2 more to do. Good thing I like them. Imagine it was like a vehicle I really didn't like. This one, similar to Slovenia. Oh yeah, no kidding. Just Just the escudo's different. The shield, the crest. Excellent. You know, I don't need to put it on these clippers. It's pretty dry as it is. Now this one, we got to be careful. We don't want to mess this up. Give me a bottle cap. Give me a bottle cap, boy. Oh wait, there's nobody here except me. I'm my own boy. Now look here. Now speaking of Czechs, one thing I don't do with the Czechs is I don't do these Soviet vehicles that are the Czech Legioner. I don't do Czech and Polish vehicles that have been commandeered by the Soviets. Like, oh yeah, we'll give you your own tanks and you can help us put the fascists away. Yeah, and then they turn them into slaves. I don't do that shit. Personal decision. Same way I don't do British and American vehicles in Soviet. You want to be a commie, you got to do it with your own shit. Okay. Let this guy dry. Ah, the kaiju's here. Welcome back, Reese. The guy that says he has a weird name. Your first name is weirder than your last name. And I'm not saying your first name is weird, but I don't think your last name is weird at all. Where's your last name from? It's got to be some Germanic thing with the EI combination. You don't know? Ask your mom. No, ask your dad. Your dad would probably know. Hopefully you know who your dad is, otherwise you're screwed. I work with somebody, a grown-ass person, actually they're pretty close to being my age, and they said they were adopted, and they didn't know who their parents were. Like, wow. Like, how do you even know that the name that you're given is your real name? That's just a lot of, that's a big variable. It's nothing special. Well, with attitude it isn't. I had one guy who used to come on here pretty regularly on Saturday mornings, and they claimed, because I got to take people's word for it, they claimed that they were half Thai and half German. They didn't like the fact that they were German. I'm like, you don't get to pick. I mean, it's not like you're guilty of war crimes, We're airbrushing some of these tanks that we've been working on. Go ahead and remove this one. And put this little guy on there. That's what we're doing. And then we're gonna airbrush some new ones. We're gonna airbrush the Soviet tanks that we just got done finished. We just got done finished. Yes. I heard double negative. Well, that's double positive. This thing blowing? I don't know about this, Sarge. Yeah, it's coming out. It's just hard to see. I thought it was coming out. We'll see how much better these things look with the clear coat on them than without. Need to actually angle this so. And we've got prevailing winds going that way. Trying to find your channel for a while, and you finally did. Just look up, I don't know if you could just use my first name, but if you use my first and last name and put World War II, you can find it. WW2. WW2. Two left of these. Have a great day. You too, man. No, you have a great day. I can have a great day now. I'm home. Make sure I'm not blowing this shit in my cup. I want to make sure if I get cancer, it's from Coke, not from drinking this other shit. I'll move this back up. Speaking of Coke, let's do a hit of Coke. Everybody's got a bad habit. That one's mine. It's not like I drink it all the time at work. I don't have access to it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rinse this little bit out before we load this up with some more. No point in buying one of those $30 things just to spray your airbrush into it. Just freaking grab a milk jug or, you know. Arnold Palmer. Is it empty Arnold Palmer? It's almost like, what's that stuff called? Re-wetting drops? Almost like that's what this is. It's re-wetting drops. Mmm. Things rather flimsy. Let's not mess with that. We don't need a debacle. Oh, Snapdragons. We don't want to run out of that stuff. I don't have any more airbrush flow improver to make more. We'll have to Amazon that stuff. That's what most of it is, anyways. This is probably the glossiest one, this turret, for some reason. Got a bit glossy. Back here. All right, and I feel like we're missing something. There's three there, there's three turrets there. There's two here, and there's two turrets there, and there's that one over there. No, I guess that's everything. I guess that's all the Germans, anyways. It's pretty flat. Dries really quick. Dries really, really quick to the touch. All right, now we're going to do the Soviet vehicles. And then we'll start getting crazy. Yeah, these are all 3D printed. All these holes are 3D printed. Half the turrets are actually from Plastic Soldier Company, so they're literally plastic. That'd be funny. It's called Plastic Soldier Company. What do you make things out of? Oh, we 3D print resin. Like, why are you called Plastic Soldier Company? I still think Plastic Soldier Company is, that's the Plastic Soldier Company. Whoa, excuse me. All right, first, Sovietsky. This guy right here. These tracks are pretty darn delicate. I don't know if I want to put this kind of pressure on it. Let's do this. Let's grab it from this direction. Oh, it's flat as shit. On the side, already dried. All right. We're gonna need one of these for the turret. going to need one of these for the hole. And we're out. This is flat as hell. And that's a good thing. That's what we want. So your vision doesn't get distracted. I went to a website that I don't know that I think I've mentioned it before. So it's a website that has a bunch of hobby stuff on it, and I hadn't been there in a while. And I was surprised that on the front page there was a political statement, and you could just tell the way it's written that the people on there were just like rabidly believed one way or the other. And I'm like, that's not really, I mean, it's your website, you do whatever you want, but why would you put that on your website? Like on the front page. So, I don't think I'm going to mention the website anymore. Not necessarily because I disagreed tremendously with what they had to say, but just, you know, when people go on a rant about one thing, you know that's not it. It's like if you encounter somebody that has a bunch of bumper stickers on their car, you know that person doesn't know when to shut up. Uh-oh. Let's dial it up a little bit more. Let's just get through this. We're almost done. This is literally the last thing I have to seal. Come on, man. Gotta move quick, man. Looks pretty good. We got a little bit left here. Let's go ahead and clear this out. All right. Take some of this. Yeah, I don't give a shit about people's political opinions. I'd rather not know what people's political, people's political opinions is just like finding out how much people make at work. Like, I don't want to know how much other people make. Nothing good can come from that. I can encounter somebody that I have a perfectly good relationship with, and then I find out there's some kind of, they feel about things in some way that doesn't make any sense, and the next thing you know, I don't like them. Well, likewise, I could not like somebody and find out I agree with them politically or whatever, and I still won't like them. My wife will say all the time, "Did you see the news?" I'm like, nope. Nope, I don't watch the news. Let's run some cleaner through here, make sure we're good. Because what we're going to do next is nasty. Ooh! Keep your pants on. It's thick and nasty. In this grab bag of garbage, that's basically what this stuff is. There is a T70 floating around here. Somewhere. T3485. But that one involves putting shit together with epoxy. Here it is. Here's part of it anyways. I think that's part of it. I don't remember it being a part though. Part of it wasn't. It just came apart. Okay. Well, we paint now, assemble later. There's the Sherman. Oh, I found something else too. This is actually something that wasn't junk. I ended up calling it junk. This is a JS2, also from BP Cast. I'm going to go ahead and snowify it while I'm sitting here. Here's the turret of the T70. Since we're on a Soviet tear, there's a T34 in here. Or was it in the other bag? GAZ truck. is this? Some old ass cannon that doesn't go with anything. Man, this is. Let me show you what when I was talking about these things being garbage. Let me remove this. Man, my hand is hot. This is how these come. These BP cast. And inside here is a open bed GAZ truck. Now, I've got some GAZ trucks, and they look a bit smaller than this one. And this stuff used to smell like formaldehyde, not formaldehyde, mothballs. These used to smell like mothballs when you first would get these. But you've got a hole here, which is cracked. It's okay, we can probably fix that. And it gets glued at some point. But there's nothing underneath here. There's no chassis or anything. And there's nothing for these things to attach to. They literally would be attaching to the bottom of the carrier, of the bed, and there's nothing there. It would just be like they're just sitting on the bed. Well, we keep having things fall off. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to make something out of balsa that's thick that I can put underneath here that these can attach to that balsa piece. So it looks like there's something there. I think they're worth painting. I mean, they're very, 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 very crude, but I think I'm going to use them for snow vehicles. Because at some point I'm going to put some piled up snow on it. So if something is boogered up or something like that, I can kind of fix that with standing snow on here. But these have been through a lot. I've got that one, and I've got another one that's out of the packaging. But look at this front tire, for instance. Like, the tire itself doesn't look too bad. But look at the back side. It's hollow, almost like a Cheerio or something. So it's definitely going to take some epoxy and some TLC. So that might be something that we can work on sooner rather than later. We'll go ahead and put it back in its packaging, and hopefully we don't lose something. But yeah, here's the instructions for it. It literally has the tires just sitting on top of it. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. We can do better than that. Very, very primitive. Where's the container that these things are going to go in? So we need to clean this up, get that ready. What else do we got? We got this T3485. I got like 8 T3485s already. Might as well make this one a snow one. Running gear. Running gear's got bubbles. There's all kinds of bubbles and stuff on here. It's got good junk on the side. There's like equipment and stuff on there. That part doesn't look bad. All the pieces are here, so I don't know that I want to make it a destroyed. It's going in with me as well. What else have we got in here? That's Soviet. Okay, here is another gas truck. This one's is covered. Yeah, see, this one actually has something underneath it. It has a place for the tires or something to sit. Put that in. That's the extra wheels and stuff. Maybe I don't. Maybe I won't have all the pieces for that. Maybe I will. Let's see here. This is 234 stuff. Okay. Oh, here's the gas truck with the quad maxims. Here's the quad maxims and the crew. There's the bed to it. Here's the two dual tires in the back. Here's the two for the front. All right. Maybe that's what we'll work on tonight. Once we get back inside. After we take a shower. I didn't want to come out here and do this after I showered. Not that it's that hot, but still. All right, and we also have some T34s to put on. Got this beautiful Panzer III. got three of those to do. We need to make a hatch on one of these because I've got model 1941. All right, so we're going to do those. Not you right now. I'm going to take this inside. We've got this truck to do. Let's take a look at what this T34 has right here. Oh, it only has one running gear. Yeah, it's a problem. I got other running gears I could. I got this as like a grab bag from people. Well, I could certainly put this thing knocked out in a snowdrift. Half of it like sunk into the snowdrift with only one suspension on here. Just have to get a cannon from something else. I think we could do something with it. We're going to punt on it for now. So we got this T70 that we're going to prime and then paint it green. We've got this guy that we're going to paint white, and by the time we get back around, this thing will be done as well. Now, we won't need this. We can close this up now. Normally, I would epoxy this and put all this together. But since we're out here, I'm going to go ahead and rip this other side off. And I actually need to, they didn't take any of some of this flash off. Yeah, this is pretty rough. I think it'll be fine by the time we're done with it. And I don't know if this is Skytrex or not. I have a feeling that it is. It says T70 etched into the bottom of it. Does it say T34? No, but the inside looks very similar. So this is probably a Skytrex T70. It's probably what that is. Let me go grab an X-Acto knife. I'll be right back. I want to clean the flash off this thing and glue it together. Be right back. I did better than that. We brought the epoxy out here. Hopefully I do have that needle here. Here it is. Use this needle to mix up the epoxy. All right. Let's clear our work area here. Yeah, I basically got this out of like a trash pile. This guy, one of the shows, the guy was like selling like this whole bag for like 20 bucks. And I don't know, I thought I had a hell of a deal, but I'm having to fix a lot of this stuff, which is well within my skill set, but wasn't really what I was expecting. And they didn't even clean this flash off. It's pretty noticeable. I mean, I don't like cleaning flash off models, but you kind of have to. Now the catch is, which side is the front, which is the outside? Which is the front, which is the back? I think it's like this. This is the one that's the highest. Oh, it's totally Skytrax. It's got nowhere for this. You know, the wheels don't. You think, oh, these road wheels just attach. You could just epoxy them to this flat piece. They don't touch. There's like a gap between them. So you have to attach it basically on this track at the top. Kind of weird, but this T34 is the same way, same manufacturer. You look at the bottom and they're actually, the sides of the hull don't touch the track. Kind of odd that way. Definitely, these are definitely models you want to fill in with epoxy or something else that's gap filling, because there's a lot of gaps. They actually installed this one backwards. That's how it should go. It should go like that, and this one on this side, like this. And a little 45mm cannon. It's a good looking little light tank. I think so. And I actually found an example of this in snow camouflage with big red numbers on the side of it, so that's how we're going to paint it up. So we want to super glue that down. I mean, epoxy that. We want to epoxy the gun for the nth time on the JS2, which has already been kind of preliminarily painted in green. It's just a terrible model. Okay, what else do we need to do with the super glue? I mean, the epoxy while we're out here. I can epoxy other stuff inside. It's just mainly because I wanted to paint these things. Let's go ahead and mix this a little bit here. Do I have any M16 Abrahams? Boy, you're mixing all kinds of stuff on there. You mean M1 Abraham? M1 Abrams? No, I do not. I don't have modern armor. Not interested in modern stuff. If I did anything modernish, it would be, oh, I gotta show you guys something. I was talking about this the other night, last night, or it was this morning. that I'm going to paint a little African ship. Jesus, what it was right here. Son of a biscuit eater. I've had about enough of this little pollen cough. It's not there. It's not there. There it is. Because the ship theme, there's a ship theme. Next month is Russia. So I'm doing Russian vehicles. The next month is ships. Well, I don't have any ships, but I do have this. And it is literally plastic. Look, it has an interior. So I'm going to paint this like it's a riverboat and put it on a stand. I'm going to use this for my modern African wars and have, like, 3 or 4 mercenaries that was the whole objective. It was like this river that they needed to get from point A to point B on. Shot at the whole way. We're going to try priming this and see how that goes. Okay, so we put the epoxy down, but we didn't mix it. So the chain reaction shouldn't be, well, it's actually right next to each other, so it kind of mixed. The last thing we're going to do is put the gun barrel on, because the gun barrel likes to misbehave. So we're going to goop this stuff on. Like one of those little boats that, your kid wants to takes a bath or whatever. That's like what that's for. I think I had one, my brother had one just like that 40 years ago or whatever. Abrahams. Now that would be an Israeli vehicle if it was called Abrahams. Creighton, I think his middle name was P. Creighton P. Abrams. If I remember correctly, he was one of the first people that was in Bastogne. I could be wrong. Anyway, he's named after an American general. He might have been the guy that was in charge of the 4th Armored Division that relieved Bastogne. That seems right. Boy, it's not sticking with a damn. We'll have to wait a little bit. And then we'll have to prop it on something. Prop it on something. I don't care if it gets damaged, so we're not going to prop it on some painted vehicle. What time is it? 8:15? There we go. I don't think we'll be able to do those. Put those things together tonight. They'll just have to wait. They'll have to wait their turn in the queue. No, I don't have any modern armor. It never interested me. The only thing that looks kind of interesting until I saw a play of it, a play-by-play, there's this board game called, I think it's called Armageddon War. And it's a board game with like counters and stuff. And it's supposedly a make-believe Middle Eastern theme is what it is. And there's Israeli forces and American forces and Russians and, a couple different Palestinians or ISIS type factions or something like that. It's like this make believe Third World War conventional with tanks and something like that in the Middle East. And the counters are pretty big. They're like 1 inch counters or something like that. And it looks like a pretty cool game. And then I watched a couple of play by turns on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, this isn't really my kind of thing. I forget exactly what it was I didn't like about it. Probably too many saving throws or something like that. I don't like those games where somebody puts a bunch of hits on you, like, all right, we're going to kick ass, and the guy rolls them off and you don't really get them. It's like, ha ha, joke's on you, nothing really happened. I don't really like games like that. Yeah, you're just, oh, and yet here it cured. How freaking weird. Oh well. This is a crap model, anyways. If I could salvage something out of this thing, it'd be a miracle. And stay there. And if you fall down, you fall down. All right, let's get this epoxy out of the way here. All right, so we're going to, let's grab the painted vehicles and move them out of here. Let's do that. I don't want any overspray on them. We can put them on here for now. Okay, what tank is this? This is 331, and this is the turret for 331. Okay, this is 332. What are you doing over here? Loner. There's the turret for 332. It's 334. Here's the turret for 334. Here's the two crewmen with some goop that they're going to need. And this. All right, so these can go inside. Move this somewhere where nothing's going to happen to them. We don't want to have to redo those. All right. So we need to spray this thing, primer this one black. That's the only one that we need to primer black. So let's hop to that. And all we're doing is priming the small vehicle, so I certainly don't want to use too much of this stuff. And this is like a 70-30 mix, is what was recommended. Yeah, this is what I hate about those type of lids. You get paint on you, the next thing you know, you transferred it on something else you don't want to. Okay, and some of the airbrush flow improver. Mix that in here. That's what the guy said. I'm a big fan of just mixing it there instead of having to put it in some kind of other container that you're going to end up wasting a lot of the material because it's stuck to the sides of it. Let's do one thing before we get started on that. Let's make sure there's no dust here. I didn't take a before picture of it, so we'll do it like this. I'll take a screenshot of this later. Okay. Now I'm going to flip it upside down. And get these hard to reach places first. It's just not happening. This thing is vibrating so much that it actually vibrates the airbrush. How do you get an airbrush stand? I don't want this thing falling and hitting the ground like it did the other day. Pressure on now that I've just epoxied that. again, I'm going to take a screenshot of this later. I'm going to go ahead and actually remove it from one inside of the other. Be nice if this thing stopped vibrating. Thank you. Thank you. There's perfect. Let's sand some of this to make sure we have some kind of a surface for the paint to adhere better. A kid's bath toy. Or I guess an adult's bath toy if you're into that. If I'm going to play with something in the bathtub, I want something that has guns on it. I got my preference. This would be one of these things I'll paint up and my wife will like this better than anything else. Like, really? A fucking bath toy? I've had this thing waiting in the wings to do this. About 15 years. Well, it's kind of overdue to paint this bastard now. Alright, where are we going to attach this clippy clip to? How about there? And let's attach the other clippy clip to one of these things here. All right. I don't know if I got enough black in there, but we'll find out shortly. We don't have enough. It's all right. I don't know if it's exactly to scale, but it's close enough. case this looks kind of opaque, we'll paint the inside black as well. There we go. Like, man, it was jamming. Well, there we go. Too wet. Push that in different places with air. It is self-leveling. This stuff is pretty thick, and this is a .35 needle. So in the past, this wouldn't have worked at all. Let me dial this out a little bit. We're going to have to clean this out shortly. Come on. Get the flowing, man. There we go. this stuff doesn't work great with this .35 needle, but it wasn't working before at all without that fluid in it. That's good enough for government work. We're gonna let that dry and pour the rest of this stuff out. That's the thickest. All we've been doing tonight so far is thick shit. We did the clear coat, this is very thick, and we did the primer, which is very thick. All through a needle that I wouldn't have been able to do anything with without that fluid. Now, bit tired standing up. I'm going to go ahead and just take this out and make sure that everything is working fine, because we don't want an issue with the other stuff that we're doing. We're going to be running paint that's significantly thinner through here, so it shouldn't be an issue. It won't be an issue, but we have some kind of vestiges of this stuff still in there, that's going to cause problems for us in the long run. Let's back this needle out a little bit. And let's just take a good look at this. That's clear, that's clean, so we don't have to worry about that. Got a little bit of residue on there. Take a little bit of hand sanitizer, that's just going to melt all that paint off. Okay, and this, let's make sure we can see light through it. And if we can't, then we need to go in there and clean this thing out. So, same thing, I'm going to grab a little pipe cleaner, put a little bit of this stuff in here. Actually, this might actually work well as well, now that I think about it. These are actually really handy. I got these were given to me as a grab bag at a Christmas party, a hobby Christmas party. I'm probably going to go out and buy some. Micro applicators tapered cylinder. Gotta be dirt cheap. All right, what do we got in here? So the next paint we're going to put in is going to be like 50-50. It's paint that's already thinned. And I've airbrushed before with it not thinned at all. So we're going to dial the pressure down. Okay, that's probably pretty good right there. The said about airbrushing is don't make any fucking plans. I'm only going to be an hour. You don't know how long you're going to be. If you can't spend at least an hour airbrushing something, don't even start. Okay, that's pretty good. I'd say we have all these parts pretty clean. And then this, of course, is clean. See if we can get cleaner. Normally, this isn't where the problem occurs. It's on the nozzle end. Okay. So let's, we disassembled. Now we will reassemble. Reassemble. Okay. And even though you can tighten this by hand, you want to tighten it as much as you can. Because an air leak and then you got problems. And this little cap just goes on the end. All right, let's push this thing out. All right, and we are a way too much PSI. So let's dial this down to, let's run about 18. I might dial it down a little bit more with a white. Now, just check, make sure everything's good. Just running some cleaner through here. Pressing it down, nothing comes out. Pull it back, there we go. And no spittling. What the hell just happened? With the turret that fell down? Well, it fell down after it was glued, so we're good. Okay, so this is the turret on the, we're gonna airbrush that with white. So, first thing, the only vehicle that we're gonna do the green on is this T70. All right, so we're gonna grab 4BO Russian green, 50-50 mix of this, and 50-50 mix of the magic formula. If you want to know what the magic formula is, I didn't come up with it. I'm just following the instructions. It's 70% Airbrush Flow Improver, 30% Airbrush Thinner, both from Vallejo, and then 10% of the flow of the retarder. I know that adds up to 110%. Hey, that's the formulas the guys did. He does a new math or something like that. All right, so we're going to try to count this evenly. So I'm doing one vehicle. I'm going to do 2 drops of paint. Stay up there, dude. 1, 2, 3. I'm actually going to do 3 drops. I'm going to do 3 drops of this. 1, 2, 3. And the guy recommended just mix it right here. Now, one thing that I actually noticed is it works better if you put the flow aid first, if you put the liquid first, which I didn't do. We don't want to lose this. Let's make sure everything is hunky-dory here. We're going to cover the whole thing in a light coat of the green. Once we've covered the whole thing in a light green, a light coat of green, we go over to the turret and do the same thing. Okay, once we're done with that, we're going to come in and shade some areas more than others. Let's make sure this is all the way in. And this is where I'm going to want to dial this down a little bit. I don't want a whole lot of paint coming out of here. Okay? Then we're going to come in and do the same thing on the turret. Okay? The other vehicles that we're doing are already green, so we don't have to do the green part on them. I'm not going to add more to the running gear, but you're going to see the next step that we're going to do. It won't make a difference. I'm just kind of using up this green. I have plenty of green here for what I need to do. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and run this out. Put a little bit of cleaner in here. Now, what makes this magic liquid really magic is that if you read what kind of thinner you should use for some of this paint, you got to use the AK for the AK, the Viejo for the Viejo, and with this for the other one. And this guy claims that all acrylic paint this mix will work with. Well, that's good because I don't want to have thinners from all kinds of different paints. Even though I do, I have AK thinner. And it works okay, but I have AK thinner and I have the, actually I don't have any MIG ammo thinner at all. So I'm using Viejo solutions with MIG ammo paint. It's working just fine. It can't be that dissimilar. Not like, oh, you got to use whatever the manufacturer tells you to. Okay, well, all right. Just check your free will at the front desk. All right, so what I'm going to do then is we're going to put this green away. We're done with all the green. We're going to grab this color that is called German Camo Black. Now, this stuff is very thick, and normally I would put little droplets of it in there, but this is almost like it's a complete strand. So I'm kind of have to figure out I'm going to do about 50-50. I don't need a whole lot of this stuff. No, I guess now we're back to drops. So we've got 2 drops in there. Let's add 2 drops of the airbrush flow improver, etc. Okay. And then we will mix in here. What we're going to do is we're going to airbrush the bottom half of these vehicles so it looks like they've been through the mushy ground after a snowfall, because they are going to be snow. They are going to have snow camouflage on them. Let's make sure everything's working okay. It is, and we're just going to come in and now we're going to move to the T34. We don't need to do that on the JS2 because we've already done that. We're almost out of this stuff. Now the fact that this will spray Viejo paint at about 15 psi Vallejo paint that's thick, that's pretty impressive, without any issues. Without any issues. All right. Washable white camo. This stuff is actually meant so you can spray it and then take a paintbrush, a wet paintbrush, a little while later and scrub some of it off. We're not going to do that. We didn't do that on the T34s. It looks just fine without them. Now, what we are going to do is, we are going to do this also on this JS2. But one thing that we're going to do different about the JS2 already has markings on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover those markings. Actually, we don't need to do that. We should be able to spray around that. We're not that bad with the airbrush. Actually, I'm not bad at all. Just sometimes the paint mixes aren't what you want them to be. So we're going to take washable white, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the same thing with the airbrush flow improver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're going to mix this stuff together. It's pretty watery. Let's dial it down even more. Okay. We'll start with this T34. What we're going to do is we're going to put a light dusting on the whole thing. And we're getting a little bit of spotting on it. Okay, so let me turn the pressure up a little bit. Getting a little bit of tip dry on it. That's all we're going to do on there. I still want it to look like it was green at some point. And we're not going to be able to do the hatch because I got to make some hatches out of green stuff. I was shorted a few hatches when I got these in the estate sale from somebody. A lot of them were miscast. It wasn't that I was shorted them. Okay, and here's the turret for. And the T70 now, same deal. And same thing with the chassis. Let's see, make sure this looks equivalent. I think it's gonna look pretty good. It's not a bad little casting. I mean, sure, it's Skytrex, but so is this. See how this turret is looking. All right, and last but not least, this JS2. It's not very good. It's a terrible model, actually, to be quite honest. And what we'll do is we'll do black lining. We'll do some rust type stuff on there. And I think it'll look pretty good. We're just going to totally avoid the red star. Okay, so we're going to have something that looks like this. And the front of this turret is definitely front heavy. Honestly, it doesn't look half bad. It doesn't look half bad. So and the number needs to be repainted to make it a little bit brighter. I don't think it looks half bad. Oh, well, then we need some snow over here. So one of my short-term goals is I'm gonna buy some snow making material. Anything that's on here on these snow vehicles that look like it's boogered up, it's messed up on here, I'm going to add a little bit of standing snow on there and make that kind of disappear. And I think it'll end up looking pretty damn good. Now, compared to these completed vehicles, yeah, they're going to look real similar. They're going to look real similar. Okay, folks, so that's going to complete the airbrush session. Let's get as much of this stuff out as we can, and then we'll give this a good rinse, and we'll kind of blow the pressure out of this, blow all this shit out of here. Make sure you take all this stuff apart. so that it dries up well, out well. Take the needle out through the front. And we're ready to rock and roll next time. Folks, thanks for coming by. We'll see you guys on the next one. Have a night. Bye-bye.